Picture this, Christmas morning, 2002. A 55-year-old construction CEO named Jack Whittaker checks his lottery ticket in the freezing hills of West Virginia. Snow blankets the Appalachian Mountains. His breath forms clouds in the bitter December air. He's already rich, worth $17 million, already successful, already living comfortably with his wife Jewel in their beautiful home overlooking the valley. But in that single moment, everything changed forever. He just won $314.9 million, the largest undivided Powerball jackpot in American history. $113.4 million after taxes hit his account within days. He thought he'd won paradise. He actually won a death sentence. You're about to discover why everything you've heard about lottery winners is a completely fabricated lie. For decades, financial experts, news outlets, and self-help websites have hammered us with the same statistic: 70% of lottery winners go broke within 7 years. It's plastered everywhere, cited in documentaries, quoted in textbooks as unquestionable fact. Your parents probably told you this growing up. But here's what they don't teach you: that statistic is completely fake, manufactured. The National Endowment for Financial Education explicitly denied ever releasing this number. There is zero scientific backing, zero studies, zero evidence whatsoever. It's pure narrative fiction designed to make us feel better about our own financial struggles. That's terrifyingly real, and it's far worse than any fake statistic could ever convey. Before the money arrived, Jack Andrew Whittaker Jr. was the definition of the American dream. Born in 1947, he built Diversified Enterprises, incorporated from absolutely nothing. His construction company employed over 100 workers across West Virginia and Virginia. He paid fair wages. He attended church regularly. He donated generously to local charities. His neighbors described him as humble, hard-working, honest, the kind of man who still answered his own phone and remembered everyone's birthday. He'd already conquered poverty through decades of grinding labor. Think about that for a second. This wasn't some desperate gambling addict hoping to escape poverty. This was a self-made millionaire who bought a Powerball ticket on a whim while grabbing coffee. The odds of winning were 1 in 120 million. He beat those odds. He collected what should have been generational wealth. He promised to donate 10% to his church. He established the Jack Whittaker Foundation to help struggling families. He genuinely believed this money would multiply his ability to do good. But here's the kicker: the money didn't change Jack Whittaker. It revealed what unlimited resources do to human psychology. Within months of winning, thieves broke into his black Lincoln Navigator at the Pink Pony Strip Club in Cross Lanes. Imagine the scene: shattered glass glittering under neon lights, cold wind rushing through the broken window, and a suitcase containing $545,000 in cash simply gone. When police questioned him about carrying so much money, Jack answered with chilling indifference: "Because I can." Not because he needed it. Not for any logical reason whatsoever. Simply because the money had made him feel completely untouchable, invincible, above the ordinary rules that govern normal human beings. Now, you might be thinking, one robbery is bad luck. Everyone makes mistakes. Maybe he learned his lesson. They robbed him again 5 months later. $200,000 vanished into the West Virginia night. The pattern became horrifyingly clear. Jack Whittaker wasn't being targeted because he was careless. He was being targeted because everyone within 100 miles knew exactly who he was and exactly what he had. Local newspapers had published his face. Television stations broadcast his story nationwide. His generosity became legendary, and so did his vulnerability. The money made him a walking target with a spotlight permanently attached. If you think that's shocking, wait until you hear what happened to his family. Jack gave his beloved granddaughter Brandy absolutely everything imaginable. She was 17 when the money arrived, that magical age between childhood innocence and adult responsibility. $2,000 every single week as spending money. That's over $100,000 annually for a teenager. 4 brand new cars sat in the driveway. Complete access to his bank accounts. Unlimited resources with zero restrictions. He loved her absolutely and wanted her to experience happiness without any limits whatsoever. He wanted her to never struggle like he had struggled, never feel the cold bite of poverty, Never know desperation. This is where it gets crazy. He accidentally created the perfect environment for addiction to flourish completely unchecked. The truth is far more disturbing than simple cause and effect. Wealth doesn't create addiction, but unlimited wealth removes every single barrier that might prevent someone from spiraling. No financial consequences, no need to choose between drugs and rent. No moment of pause when the credit card declines. Brandy had discovered methamphetamine and opioids, and she had infinite resources to pursue that destruction wherever it led. Imagine being there when Jesse Tribble's body was discovered. An 18-year-old boy, Brandy's boyfriend, found dead inside Jack's sprawling mansion. Overdose. The boy had died in his house, surrounded by luxury he could never have imagined, destroyed by substances that Jack's money had made infinitely accessible. Drug dealers across the region knew exactly where to find high-value customers with deep pockets and minimal supervision. They circled Jack's property like sharks smelling blood in the water. Jesse Tribble was merely the first warning sign nobody heeded. Jack tried interventions. He tried treatment centers. He tried love, discipline, boundaries. But here's what they don't tell you about fighting addiction when unlimited money is involved. Every attempt at tough love can be circumvented. Every boundary can be purchased around. Every lockdown can be escaped with enough cash. The very foundation of rehabilitation, removing access to substances, becomes impossible when someone can simply buy their way to whatever they want. Brandy spiraled deeper into drugs with terrifying velocity. The money gave her unlimited access to harder substances. The money kept her isolated from people who might have actually helped her. The money attracted predators disguised as friends. The very money that Jack thought would protect her became the direct mechanism of her destruction. He watched helplessly as his beloved granddaughter dissolved before his eyes. 3 months after Jesse's death, on December 20th, 2004, the body of Brandy Bragg was discovered wrapped in a plastic tarp behind a junked van on a rural property in the mountains. She had been missing for 2 entire weeks while Jack desperately searched. 17 years old, dead. The coroner ruled drug overdose, but the truth was more complex. The money killed her as surely as the substances did. But the destruction wasn't finished, not even close. Jack's daughter Ginger, Brandy's mother, never recovered from burying her child. She died 5 years later. The official cause was cancer, but family members understood the deeper truth. She died of a broken heart that never healed. Some wounds cannot be treated with chemotherapy. Some pain cannot be numbed with morphine. She watched her daughter die and simply stopped wanting to live. Jack's marriage to Jewel dissolved under the weight of grief too heavy for any relationship to bear. After 42 years together, they separated. The money couldn't save their love. The money couldn't bring back Brandy. The money couldn't undo a single moment of tragedy. Think about that for a second. 42 years of marriage. Building a life together from nothing. Surviving poverty, recession, hardship, struggle. Their relationship survived everything except winning the lottery. In 2016, Jack's Virginia home burned completely to the ground. The flames consumed everything he owned. No insurance covered the loss. Some speculated arson. Some called it karma. Jack called it appropriate. He had nothing left worth saving anyway. Jack Whittaker died in 2020, repeatedly saying one devastating statement that echoes through history: "I wish I'd torn that ticket up." The man who won $314 million died believing he would have been happier poor. The man who achieved what millions fantasize about daily called his victory the worst moment of his existence. The real lottery curse isn't supernatural. It's not mystical punishment from jealous gods. It's psychological. It's the predictable outcome of what unlimited resources do to human relationships, human psychology, human connection. Unlimited resources destroy families because they eliminate the healthy friction that forces us to communicate. Love without boundaries becomes cruelty because it enables destruction rather than growth. The money Jack thought would save his family destroyed it completely instead. Here's what this means for you today. Cryptocurrency windfalls, inheritance surprises, viral success, the fantasy of never worrying about money again. But Jack Whittaker's story reveals an uncomfortable truth. Money amplifies who you already are and what problems already exist. It doesn't solve problems. It removes the limitations that force you to solve them yourself. The next time someone tells you that 70% of lottery winners go broke, remember this: that statistic is fake, but the underlying truth is real. Sudden wealth without earned wisdom is destruction wearing a disguise. If this story made you think differently about money, success, or what you actually want from life, drop a comment below and tell me, if you won $300 million tomorrow, what would you do differently than Jack Whittaker? Subscribe if you want more stories that challenge everything you think you know about success, because sometimes the greatest victories are actually the worst defeats in disguise.